Yeah, so just keep an eye on the battery level, Lily, and then.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do first, Lubna, the lay of the land, and then I'll go right into, we're gonna start with the rice because rice takes about, the longest out of the meal.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna start into the salads. And then I'm going to do the broccoli and I'm gonna do the peppers for the rice pilaf.
Oh,
And
nice.
then, yeah, and then the final is gonna be the salmon because that
Oh,
takes,
nice.
so
That
that's how
doesn't
we're
take
gonna
too much.
finish it off.
Yeah. That cooks quickly enough. So I have 8 people, and I think Bianca is a person from the from the Access Now app. Do you remember when Bryce was talking about an app where anywhere you go you can tell this is an accessible place to be?
Yeah.
It is that organization, when they heard that we are doing an accessible cook-along in an accessible kitchen, they even retweeted it, they signed up for it. So this looks really good. I'm gonna enter them at 3, okay, Andrea?
Yep.
All right.
I had to open up my door to my sunroom because I'm getting hot.
Smoking hot.
But you know what? This is like nobody's ever done this before.
Yeah.
So,
I'm completely impressed
we'll
by
see.
this.
Are we? Oh yeah, are we recording this right now?
No, we're not recording this, but we're gonna record it once we get people in, and then you start talking. Okay. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. You got 1 minute.
I go to
Queens, like being here with the pom poms, like your little cheerleader.
I know. The thing is that like I talk in front of like 300 people at Queen's University in amphitheaters. So I'm basically just with Lily.
Yeah.
It's just us.
Yeah, you just don't listen to us clap and whistle and do those things.
So I got to make sure I tell people Jason's not here.
Yeah, that will be.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lily's my assistant today.
Okay. Great. Okay, I'm admitting them. Best of luck. You will rock it.
All my people. I feel like. Hi, everybody. So we're just going to keep letting people in. People are still coming in. We have a good turnout today, guys, which is amazing.
This is an awesome turnout. Holy cow.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I don't know what it's like where everybody else is, but it's a beautiful sunny day here. We had a big storm here yesterday, and now it's all cleared up and it's sunny. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's sunny and 8 here in Parksville on Vancouver Island.
I'm so happy you're here, Bert.
Oh, thanks.
I wish I was in BC right now.
Yeah, we had a real huge dump of snow. Man, it just like, it was so bad. It was like maybe 3 inches. We were just lost. We didn't know what to do. No, just kidding.
No. I don't know how much. We got over 20 centimeters.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm an old fart. I go in inches.
Well, I think we got. The snowbanks are almost as tall as the street signs.
Hello.
Hello, Christine.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming on the call.
Yeah.
I think people are still coming in, so I can't start quite yet until.
Yeah. Oh, what's happened?
I don't want to start until we have like.
Do you want to put me as a co-host and I'll just let people in as they come?
No, actually, Bert, my boss Lubna's on today, but thank you so much for offering. Yeah, Lubna's doing all that work. She's waving at you. That's my friend Bert from BC.
Thank you, Bert.
He's from SCIO BC.
Oh,
Hello.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Mhm.
I see some of my old friends on my thing, and I see some new faces, and I miss all my friends that I normally see at my dinners.
Mhm.
Hopefully we'll be able to, there's Chris. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to our dinners soon. People are still coming in, folks. We gotta wait. I think there's like 29. Hopefully we'll
Oh,
make
boy.
the we'll make a record here. Hopefully everybody likes salmon, because that's what's for supper tonight. I just caught it the other day. If I was in BC, Bert, I could, but it's Atlantic salmon, so.
So it's going to be taunt the guy from BC all day. No.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Lubna, do you think there's still people joining? So,
Let's just give them till 3:05.
okay, will because people are still dinging in. I don't want anybody to miss out.
Yeah, and people can share in the chat box where they're from, so we know where people are from here.
Lots of my volunteers are on the TV today. Some of my friends from Ottawa are on the TV today, and I'm loving seeing my people from Ottawa. So welcome, my friends from Ottawa, my Kingston friends, my BC friends. Everybody's on the channels today, so that's good. So one more minute, and then we're gonna start the show. And I'm the show today, so. And Jason's not here today because he had to take his dad to an appointment. So it's just me and my assistant, Lily.
Hi.
So Lily is going to be making sure that the computer is pointed in the right direction.
And also, we want you to know that we will be recording this session. So if you do not want to be seen, can you please turn your videos off?
Okay, it's 3:05. Lubna, do you want me to go ahead and start?
I think that's a great idea, Andrea.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Andrea's cooking show, very first. For those who don't know me, my name is Andrea Anderchuk, and I'm the peer program coordinator for Spinal Cord Injury Ontario. And my job is to meet newly injured people at the rehab and let them know that there's life after a spinal cord injury. And I have a roster of about 12 volunteers in the Kingston area that I match up with newly injured people and their peer mentors. And they just chit chat about their life experience to help our new clients get through what they're going through. But we haven't been able to get to the rehab lately because of the lockdown. So I've been missing going to the rehab to meeting new faces and people. So hopefully that will be changing soon. I want to introduce you to my coworker, Bryce Donald. He's the regional support coordinator for the Kingston area. Welcome, Bryce.
Thanks, Andrea.
I want to thank a big thank you to Bergeron Clifford law firm for sponsoring our peer program here in Kingston. They've been our sponsors for, I don't even know how many years, Chris, but a long time. And we totally appreciate your sponsorship and your support. You do a lot for our community, and we just love you guys. So I'm glad that you're on the call today because you were in council or something like that today, weren't you, Chris?
I was at a discovery today, but I hurried everybody up. I didn't want to miss it.
Well, I appreciate it, my friend. So thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
You're welcome. You make it easy, Andrea.
Thank you,
So
Chris.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Few things I want to talk about before we start the show. Everybody's muted when they arrive. And if we're going to save all our questions till the end, question answers to the end. If you have a question, you can use the raise hand feature down at the bottom of the screen, or you can type your question in the chat feature in the Zoom account down at the bottom. For those who are familiar with Zoom, you can type in your questions there, and we'll go to those at the end of the session. I think that's it for now. We're gonna get started. So we've never done anything like this before, but I thought, you know what? Let's give it a try. So I'm gonna give you, before I start to cook, I'm gonna give you kind of like the lay of the land of what the kitchen looks like. For those who have come in late, Jason's not here, so he's not gonna be in the shot today, but he sends his regrets. So this house was built 10 years ago, and it's a Gilchrist home. So it arrived in 3 different pieces, and Jason designed it specifically for his needs, which worked out for me after I met him. Perfect. So I'm going to give you a little tour of the house first, of the kitchen. So our stove here, I don't know if you guys knew, but stoves I don't know, I don't like using the word normal, but the stoves usually come down, right? So for people that have limited mobility or use a wheelchair, just discovered this stove, this oven, and it opens up to the side, which is super cool, a super cool feature. Anybody would love it, right? And it's more safe than coming down like that. So when I'm cooking, for those who don't know, I love to cook. And the best thing that you can do for somebody is cook them a meal. So I love to cook suppers and all sorts of good stuff. So when I cook, say, a roast chicken, I'm not cooking anything in the oven right now, but when I cook a roast chicken, I open up the thing, and there's a drawer here. That's a really cool feature that you open up, and it's a cutting board. It's a hardwood thing. So when you have something hot in here, I put my UGG gloves on. Reach in. And take down my roast and very carefully and set it on here. So when it can cool, or whatever you have in here, like a casserole or something like that. So it's a really cool feature that you got that is available for people. And then after that, then I would take it. I would take the top off and put it in my sink. So the distance between the sink and the stove are perfect. Like this, so I grab using my rims of my chair, I grab counters. Okay. And then what I would do is I would pick this up and then bring it over here. And I would set it on a cutting board onto the counter. So it's a really cool feature that, and it's really, I don't know, it's easy, and everybody would like this feature. So for people that don't know that it's available, really, this is a Frigidaire thing. And then I can reach up and turn things on like that. So the buttons are reachable. So then the sink, it's a cutout underneath. I don't know if Lily, I can roll right underneath it like this, and my stuff at the sink, and things come out like this. That's a really great feature. And then we have our pantries over here. This is our pantry. My soups, and they come out in like these really cool drawer type things. So they come out, it's nice and easy, slide nice and easy in. So I have all my soups at the top, and then I have all my spices. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah? So there's all that, which is easy. And then I have all my rice and my pasta and everything at the bottom. So that's really easy. And then I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, what about the upper cabinets? What about the upper cabinets? How does she get it out of the upper cabinets? Well, you guys know that you've seen these before. These are like, you can get them lots of places, grabbers. So we do have stuff in the upper cabinets, and I would just reach up, get a hold of it, bring it down, and then like that. And then put it back up like that. So that's handy. And then we have, so then we have a second pantry, same thing. This is our treat cupboard. So as you can see, we have chippies and all my baking stuff is in here. So it's another thing is just these beautiful kind of sliding drawers that we have there. That's really good. It's my level, Jason's level, so it works perfect. Now we're going to go over to the other side of the kitchen. And I don't know if anybody here has drawers. So we don't keep everything. We gotta mute people. Okay, so all our glasses and plates are in these beautiful big drawers here. So all our plates are down here. Plates and bowls are down in here, and they come in, and they're not, what do they call it? They don't slam. They're nice and they close nice and easy. And all our glasses are down here. So it's a really cool feature. So when able-bodied people come over, they always look up top for glasses, but we have to say, you have to think opposite. That's where all that kind of stuff is. And then we're going to come over onto here, and this is the gas range that we have. And so I can go right underneath. It's built that I can go right underneath with my chair. My knees don't hit it. And then when I first started working with, and all the knobs, the buttons or whatever, they're all at the front rather than reaching over and then burning yourself. They're all located at the front, which is great. And for those who haven't, I don't know if many of you guys use a gas stove, but when I first started using a gas stove, I was really afraid of it because I grew up with an electric stove. But once you start using the gas stove, it's really good, but you just have to watch your stuff. You can't let something simmer on the stove while you walk away. You have to always be present for that. So it's a really good feature. There's 4 elements on it, and Jason and I can both go right underneath it. And as you'll see when I'm cooking, that it's really great. You can look right into your pan and things like that. So that's a tour of the kitchen. So we're going to go back over to where we started, and I'm going to start to cook. And Lily's going to set up my thing. So for those that don't, today's menu, we have pan-seared Atlantic salmon, fresh, rice, basmati rice pilaf, steamed broccoli, and a spinach salad with goat cheese. So we're going to start off with the rice first because that takes probably the longest, and it's going to take. I was going to say, does anybody have any questions? But we'll save those questions till the end. So I'm going to get started with my rice. So I am getting my stuff out of one of the big drawers. And you guys will notice throughout the session that I grab onto things a lot. And if you're a chair user and you like to grab things and then your fingerprints go on the walls or counters and stuff like that. So that's not a good habit to have, but it helps me get around. That's why everything's so close, which is if you're holding a pot, say like this, and you don't want to wheel like that, it's easier to grab onto the counter as I go around. Believe it or not, it's easier than that. It's easy to do that. So we're going to make basmati rice. So I'm just going to go to my cabinet. That. I get bring stuff out. So to make rice, I take 2 cups of water. Cups of water. With a cup of, we're going to bring that to a boil. So I'm going to so again, you'll see me take this. set it on the, bring this to a boil. It'll take a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill my rice up. Hopefully this is okay that we're not going to be too shaky on the camera today. Lily's doing an excellent job. I'm going to take some rice. What I do is it's a cup of rice, 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. And I I rinse my rice first to get the starch off. I'm not sure if many people do that, but that's what I do. I'll just put my, I'm going to rinse my rice off. And I'm just going to let that drain, just the rest of that water drain off into this little thing. I'm going to bring it back over to my water that's boiling. Let this boil first. Takes about, I don't know, not even 5 minutes. Let this boil, and I'm going to start on, I'm going to do some broccoli, and we're going to start our salad. So I'm going into our here. That's very convenient for me to get. And I'm going to get my cutting board out. We store our cutting boards over here. And I use a cutting board a lot to put on my lap when I'm mashing potatoes or carrying something, like if I were to carry like a hot pot, I use this cutting board on my lap because then I can just put it on my lap and wheel at the same time. So it's protecting my lap, right? So it's a really good tool. So we have a lot of these cutting boards. And as you guys know Jason, he makes a lot of these. So, and another thing I use a lot is my tea towels. Anybody use tea towels? They're my favorite things. So it's always have it on my lap so you can dry your hands all the time. So we're gonna get our stuff to make our fridge salad. This fridge, as you guys can see, it's side by side. So one side is freezer and one side is just a fridge. So it works out well for Jason and I because you don't have to reach down into one of those big freezers, you know? So it works well for us. So we're gonna do spinach. Who likes spinach? It's very good for you. Good job, good job. So everything's easy for me to reach in here. We've got everything on the door. I can't really reach, I can reach the top, the milk and things like that, but Jason's a little taller than me, so he sometimes gets the stuff that gets kind of shoved to the back. But otherwise, this fridge works very well for us, so that's good. So once the rice, have you guys ever had rice pilaf? It's rice with chopped up veggies in it. So after the rice is cooked, we'll chop up some veggies to put into the thing. I'm going to wash my, it's very important to wash your hands before you begin when we do anything, right guys? Because it's a good job to wash your hands anytime, but especially when you're cooking. Wash. I got some fresh spinach here. Spinach, so this is going to be a spinach salad with all sorts of veggies in it, tomatoes and cucumbers, and I don't know who likes fruit in their salads, but we do. I'm going to put some blueberries, which if you tuned in last month with our nutritionist, blueberries are a very good source of antioxidants, and so is spinach. So we're going to take a handful of spinach. And one of the things that I do a lot, I clean up as I go, as I cook. So then you have your clear workspace, right? Wash the spinach. Wash the spinach. Make 2 little bowls, and I like to use a paring knife. Jason likes to use the bigger knives, but I like to use paring knife, the little knives to cut with my stuff. I don't know how confident you guys are with knives and things like that, but I prefer to use the smaller knife. So I'm going to put some. So the counters are all 34 inches high, so it works perfectly for somebody who's sitting. And short people that come over to this house, they like to they like this setup too, because then they can sit at they can work at our island. So I'm just going to cut up some fresh spinach. And then put them into the bowls. And I think our water is boiling. So I'm just going to zip over there to so the water is now boiling, and I'm going to drop in my rice. So I put in my rice. Give it a little stir. And believe it or not, I turn off my element after you give it a little stir like that. I turn off the element, put the top back on, set it, forget it. 20 minutes, it turns out to be beautiful, fluffy rice. So we'll leave that. So now we're going to use nice fresh cucumber. How many people eat salads every night? How many people eat good, healthy, fresh veggies every night? Good to hear, good to know, because we should all be eating healthy foods during the pandemic to keep our immune systems good, right? Wash our veggies as I'm going along. And you guys can put anything in your salads that you like. So again, this cutting board is the best thing, like, because I cut on it, I put my hot plates on it. It's great. So put a couple of cucumbers in. How many people watch cooking shows on TV? That's the latest craze now, is to watch these cooking shows and see how people cook and what they're cooking. So that's why I thought maybe we could, that's why I wanted to do it for you guys today, to show you, because I cook most every night. I'm the cook of the house. Jason does cook, but when he does cook, he's an excellent cook, but I'm the chef of the house. So that's what I'm normally the one that's cooking. So we have, everything's at my level. The paper towel is always here, so that's good to mop up any messes. So once again, I'm going to put my little veggie away. My little tomatoes. Oh, and grapes. I like to put some grapes in my salad too. I just wish you were here for supper and I could have you guys all at one great big table. Now that would be fun. One day we'll be all together at Providence Care again, having our normal suppers and like our family dinners. So I'm gonna wash my tomatoes. So you just slice up a few tomatoes. We usually have a salad most nights, or if we don't feel like having a salad, we just chop up some veggies on a plate and have them, which is good. Good to get those nice veggies and all the colorful things that you can put in your salads. Put a few tomatoes in there. I'm going to put a few grapes. Wash these little grapes off. So everything I need, like, is that in this area. So it's everything is at an arm reach for me, which is great. So if you guys are ever looking to redo your kitchen, or you're moving into a new house, I'd encourage you guys to reach out to us and get some ideas from us. Lastly, we're going to put in some nice little fresh blueberries into our salad, but we don't need to cut those little guys up. A little bit of a rinse. Put them in there. And then lastly, we're going to put on some goat cheese. Anybody like goat cheese? It's very healthy for you. It's nice and creamy. I discovered it a while ago when I introduced Jason to it, and he loves it. Putting all my stuff away. There we go. Oh, we're going to open up our little goat cheese. For those that you don't know, that have never used goat cheese, it's kind of like cream cheese, but better for you. It's expensive, but it lasts a long time, and it's healthy for you. Cut it open like that. Comes out a little bit like that, and it's crumbly. So we're just going to crumble it over the salad like that, and it's salty. So the saltiness of the cheese and the sweetness of the fruit, it's a nice combination. So we're just going to do that, and voila, there's your nice little salad to begin your salmon dinner with. That's quickly done. I'm going to put those guys to the side. Put those on. I'm just going to, there you go. I'm going to start my veggies for my rice pilaf. So for those who don't know what a rice pilaf is, it's just rice with veggies put in it. Basically just mixed in with it. It makes the rice colorful, because otherwise, I mean, you don't have to put veggies in it, but it makes it more colorful, and when you look at it, you want to eat it, kind of thing. And it's healthy for you too. So I'm just going to get the little frying pan so I can do some, put my veggies in. Hold on a second, go back over here. Put a little bit of oil into my frying pan. Then I'm going to put my veggies in. Go, just a little bit. Put my oil. Is everybody having fun? I think everybody's having a good time. Yeah, good. So for the rice, we're going to put in some orange peppers, which are very good for us. I'm going to put some red peppers in it as well, which are good for us. Just a little bit, just to add some color. And then we're going to put a little bit of onion in it too, because I like onion. Gives a good flavor. And then you could add whatever you'd like to your like, you know, soy sauce, or any like fresh lemon juice on rice, on your rice dish, is a really good choice too, and it's healthy. Soy sauce has lots of sodium in it. That's probably why we all like soy sauce. So I'm just gonna chop up my peppers into, you guys can all see that, okay? I'm just gonna cut it up into little chunks, like this. And again, just chunks. You don't have to be precise when it comes to things like this. You just want to get it all basically the same size, so then they'll cook all at the same time. So my mom taught me how to cook, and I think that's one of the, I don't know how many people on the call today cook their own meals, but knowing how to cook or taking the time to learn how to cook is a lot of fun. So you can pick up your veggies like that, or sometimes I take the pan and then just slide them into the pan like this. Like that. So there's some like that. Just quickly chop up some nice onion. Again, into the pot it goes. Like that. And then we'll get these guys started because the rice will be done soon. So again, I'm going to go back around. As you guys can see, like I'm grabbing onto counters. I'm sure, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm grabbing onto the counters to help me. But I could, this is not hot, so I could technically put it on my lap. But... So I'm going to start these little guys up. And the flame is going. And these won't take very long. You put them on about like a medium high heat to get them going, get them sizzling. You don't saute them too dark, but you just want to like loosen them up a bit, soften them up a bit, release some of the flavors, which will be good because it will continue to cook while when I put the rice in here. We're just going to do that for a little bit. Rice still doing its thing, so that's good. So now we're going to do steamed broccoli. So we're going to steam some broccoli. I'm going to fill the pot up with a little bit of water. So for those who had, like, I just started steaming things like a couple years ago, and it's kind of like an art to steam things because when you first start steaming things, you over steam them like broccoli, and then it loses that luster, right? And then it gets all like soggy and mushy, and it comes out that brown. Those who know who I'm talking about, not the greatest, right? It doesn't look the best. And then it also loses its nutrients when you saute it or whatever that too much. So I bring my broccoli to a boil, and it doesn't take very long to steam broccoli. And you want it to keep it still that brilliant green and have that crunch still, but not too crunchy, but just enough to taste good. I'll get my broccoli. And right now you can get broccoli heads for a good price. Instead of buying the whole stalk, which probably nobody eats the stalk, right? But a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of good nutrients in that stalk. So for those who make homemade soups, keep that stalk and cut it up and put it into your soup. It's wonderful. I'm having fun with you guys. I hope you guys are having fun in my kitchen today. All right, so I'm going to cut this broccoli up. I'm going to take the stems off, or the big stem. I cut it up into different little pieces. I can hear my peppers over there sizzling away, so I'm just going to go check on those for 1 second. Yeah, we're doing well. I wish you guys would smell-o-vision, because the smell and the aroma are absolutely divine. You would totally love it. You'd be like, Andrea, when is the dinner bell going to be ready so we can have our supper? Oh, those are coming down nicely. We'll just turn that heat down a little bit. I have a plate here, and when I'm using it, instead of putting my utensils on the counter, I usually just set it up on there like that. We'll put that there for now. And I turned the heat down a little bit lower because they're coming along quite nice. For now, we're going to continue with our little broccoli. Anybody like broccoli out there? Is broccoli one of your faves or not so much? Or maybe if there's some cheese sauce, homemade cheese sauce on it, might be good too. Broccoli is, if you guys remember from our nutritionist, broccoli is one of those good foods that we should all be eating. Some people like it raw, some people like it cooked. I prefer mine cooked. I just cut them in like medium little size pieces. And we're going to put that in my little steamer. It's just a little thing with little holes on the bottom of it that fits directly into my pot. Put those little guys in there like that. We'll do I'll just cut out the rest because why not? I've got lots of. And for those who know that I have a puppy dog, he eats fresh broccoli every day, so he'll have some of this too. Some people say, Andrea, your dog eats better than most people. Well, you know, he needs to be spoiled too, right? We're just going to finish cutting this guy up. I won't put it on until I start the salmon because, again, it doesn't take a lot of time for this to cook. Wash my hands off a little bit. So there's about, that much in there. Top on. Again, now I'm going to take it back over. Using the counters to guide my way around the kitchen so I don't have to put it on my lap. Check on my little peppers, see how they're doing. I'm going to turn my element off because, again, when I'm using gas, things cook up faster than normally. So they're about done for now. So I'm going to take that off the heat, and they'll just rest because now I think we're going to get on to the main event, which is the fresh Atlantic salmon. So I'm going to take my little things. I'm going to put that there. Use my paper towel. Clean off my working station. Because for those, I don't know how many people on the call today cook with fish. If many people cook with fish or not. Some people are afraid to cook fish because they're like, I don't know I don't want to overcook it. I don't want to undercook it. But the thing is with fish, guys, is that you can never undercook fish, but you can overcook it because people tend to overcook fish, right? And then it's that gross, dry, and then our people don't like that taste, right? But the key is it looks kind of still raw, but keep in mind, people eat raw fish all the time, right? So the salmon, you want to keep it juicy, right? So you don't want to dry it out. So I'm going to show you the correct way to cook it. So once a week, Jason and I have this meal, and I introduced him to this. And when he was growing up, he'd have salmon loaf. I don't know if you guys ever remember salmon loaf, and you take a can of salmon and then you mix veggies in it or whatever. But he never grew up with real fresh salmon until he met me. So then I I taught him how to prepare it and what a good piece of fish tastes like, right? So I get my salmon at Food Basics, and you get a big fillet. You can get smaller fillets than that, but I get this at Food Basics. And another important feature to have with fish is to make sure that the skin is on, because you can buy fish, salmon or whatever, all sorts of different types of fish, and they have skinless. And I think when you have the skin on, it brings more flavor and juiciness to the fish. Okay, but I mean, if you don't want to eat the skin, you don't have to eat the skin. So I'm going to take it out and look at that. Look at that beautiful skin. Gorgeous, right? So we're going to put that down on my cutting board, and I'm going to cut it into fillets. And very important when I'm doing this kind of stuff, always wash my hands. Continuously washing my hands, because we don't want to cross-contaminate anything. I'm just going to gather some of my stuff there, wash my hands. So for this, I'll use a bigger knife because the skin is a little bit more tough. So I'm going to use a bigger knife. So we're going to cut it into some nice fillets. I just got to make sure. You can cut it as thin or as thick as you want. So we're going to cut it in about a couple inches. And the further you get down, it's a little bit tougher with the skin. So doing that. So a nice fillet, just like this, like that. And we'll put it on the plate like that. I'm going to cut a couple of fillets. I hope you guys like salmon for supper. So we're going to put those guys right there. And then I'm going to take this guy, wash my hands. Wash my hands. Then I'm just going to get a little baggie, a little Ziploc baggie to put my leftover. So as you can see, I move pretty fast around the kitchen. Put him back in there, and then I'm going to put him back in the fridge. Putting my cutting board into the sink because we're done with that now. I'm going to put that in there. Put some nice soap in there with some nice hot water to make it all clean again. So we'll just let that soak. I'm going to put all my other stuff back in the fridge. I'm going to take a fresh new lemon, because I like to put a little spritz of lemon on my fish when I'm cooking it. So I'm going to get another cutting board from over here. Wash my lemon. Use a new knife. Cut it into little quarters. And then I'm just going to sprinkle or spritz my little salmon fillets with a little bit of lemon, just to awaken my little flavors. And then we're going to put some fresh cracked pepper on it. You guys can put salt or whatever, but we just like a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Perfect. We'll let that sit for a second, and then we'll take the main star of our show over back to the stove. So I'm going to get another frying pan out. I mean, I use just regular vegetable oil for this. just put a little dab because the fats from the fish will come out naturally in the pan as well. Just like that. Oh, we're gonna start the pan up, and we're gonna bring it to a medium to high heat to begin with, because we want to get the pan nice and hot to begin the fish with. Just swirling my oil around a little bit. So we'll get him nice and hot first. And then when you're cooking fish, when you're doing with the skin on, you always start with the skin side down. Then get that nice and crispy. So I don't know exactly how long a piece of fish takes to cook. I just eye it. When I can tell by the coloring of the fish, when the meat starts to turn like this beautiful, soft, salmony pink and doesn't look raw anymore, and then hopefully you guys will be able to hear the sizzle. Like I can feel it getting hot. So I have all my tools. I have my little tongs that I'm going to use. I have my little flipper that we're going to use. So everything's in reach of this, because salmon, that's my last thing of my thing. Actually, you know what? We're going to start the broccoli because I want to get that going. So turn that broccoli on. He's going over here. So we're going to put the salmon on. You might be able to hear the sizzle. Hey, good job, Andrea. Good job. Love it. Gorgeous. Those guys are going to sit there for a second. Sizzle away. Now, I touch the fish. Not going to touch anything else but the plate. Come back over. Back in there. Wash my hands. That. I'm going to take this leftover lemon. I'm going to take it back over to let's get another little plate out when the salmon is done. I got these cool vintage plates at a garage sale. Aren't they cool? They're yellow and they're beautiful. And you get these at Walmart. So I got those and they're kind of cool. I love them. I love vintage things. Same with Jason. So my salmon's cooking along nicely. And it smells amazing, guys. Let me tell you. I hope you guys are excited for supper tonight. Everything that I'm cooking is healthy for us too. So you can have something for dessert like that, not so good for us. So we can have all these beautiful, things here. Lily says that my assistant Lily says the smell in here is absolutely incredible. We'll have to work on getting smell-o-vision, Lubna. I'm just going to look at my skin. They're sizzling along quite nicely. And another thing with salmon, you can't walk away with it. You have to be here watching it because you just can't. That's the fish because it cooks up fast. You don't want to walk away from. You should never walk away from anything. But salmon is good because. So I'm pretty happy on what the skin is looking like. So, you hear that sizzle? Yeah, cooking up nicely. So the meaty side will take a little bit longer. Hopefully you guys can still hear me without the sizzle. A little bit more lemon. Over that nice, beautiful, crispy skin. Very nice. Very, very nice. So they're just coming along nicely. Our broccoli's cooking nicely. So remind me about my broccoli. Remember I told you about the rice? It's nice and done now. So it's beautiful, fluffy rice. Beautiful. We'll be adding that to our veggies soon. So these are thicker fillets right now, and this is going to take a little bit, a couple of minutes. Does everybody like fish, or do they like kind of like white fish or like fishy fish? Like I love a nice salmon or like trout, or like some people say, yeah, I like fish. I like fish sticks. That's not fish. That's a true fish sticks. I used to have those when I was a kid. So I'm gonna look at the skin side. I don't know if you guys can see that. Or the other side's coming up nicely. Sometimes what I do with the thicker piece cuts of meat, I kind of cut it in the middle, open up a bit. To release, to open it up and through it. Opens it up a little bit. Remember what I said. You can never undercook fish, but you can overcook it. Which when you overcook it, it just doesn't taste the best. So my skin a little bit, it fell off a bit. So that's coming along quite nicely. I'm gonna have a look at my broccoli. See how that's coming. Oh, he looks nice and beautiful. He's coming along quite nicely. So usually what I do when working with gas, guys, I turn it off. I turn that off because the heat from the gas will continue to heat. If I put it on, it's going to turn color. It turns that off. To plate the dinners, guys. Plate the stuff. Oh, guys, this is looking so beautiful. Jason's missing out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's gorgeous. They're almost done. So I don't know how long that's taken. Probably like, I'm not sure exactly. Under 10 minutes for sure. I'm going to turn that on and off. We're going to move this guy over. We're going to take a fish off the plate. We're going to bring our veggies. Remember our sauteed veggies? We're going to take that and we're going to take our rice and put it into the mixed veggies. So as you can see, it makes it a nice, colorful, healthy side dish for your salmon. So we're going to put a little bit of rice on the plate. I can tell Lily's getting hungry. He's like, oh my goodness. There's some nice rice. I'm gonna take beautiful salmon. There we go. I'm gonna take some broccoli. Last but not least, a little broccoli. And he turned out just perfectly. And there's our lovely meal. Voila, bon appetit. Isn't that beautiful? Nice, healthy supper. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at that beautiful broccoli, guys. Like, does that look amazing or what? Like, seriously, how much would you pay for this at a restaurant? 30 bucks and a nice little salad. Voila, that's it. That went by fast. So, I'm not sure if anybody would have any questions, but
Andrea, there are a lot of people who are requesting a recipe for
a recipe.
the recipe of things that you prepared. I know that we have recorded this video and we will make sure that it is available for rewatching. But yeah,
I would love to like type out the recipe if anybody would like to. It's very easy. It's not expensive to make. Most expensive is the fish, but you can get a small piece of fish for, I don't know, like $5 for a single serving, or 2 servings for like under $10 for sure. And to put that into your, okay, go ahead.
So should I just ask people who are requesting a recipe to get in touch with you directly and you'll email them?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
So did everybody like it? Did everybody have a good time at my very first debut of Cooking with Andrea? They could see my kitchen and they see how I cook and chit chat, and Lily, my assistant, did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I think everyone can unmute yourselves and you can turn your cameras on and go ahead and ask questions to Andrea and interact. I think everyone is hungry. It's safe to say.
Like, does that look gorgeous or what? Like, that looks amazing.
Yes.
So does anybody have any questions for Chef Andrea? I haven't looked in the chat, Lubna, for if there's any questions typed in the chat. But I wish you guys were all here for supper. That's for sure.
I was just going to comment that if you want a more flavorful rice, you can cook it in broth, chicken broth or something like that.
That's right, Linda. I've never done that before, but I've heard that that's a great way. You can cook it in coconut milk. You can cook it in chicken broth. You can cook it in any kind of broth, really. Great idea, Linda. Thank you so much. I have lots of that. So I've never done that yet, but I guess I keep forgetting, but that's a great idea. I bet you it's very flavorful.
Yeah, that's good.
Anybody else want to ask me a little question? I think we have like 35 people on the call today, which is wonderful. This is great. Now, like, here's a question for me. Like, do you think we'd want to do this again and then I could make a different recipe? Do you think people enjoyed this and then like I could make a different meal like every couple of months, and then like say chicken Alfredo, or like mini meatloaves with veggies, or like spaghetti, or lasagna, or something like, but it's got to be done in less than an hour. That's the thing. Like I'd love to make a roast chicken dinner, but like a chicken takes
Andrea,
2 hours. Yes.
all the above. All the above.
Sound good, James? That sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody's foodies, I think, on this phone call today, which is good.
And I think maybe what we could do is we could give people a heads up, like a little grocery list, so that if people want to cook along with you,
That's what I was thinking.
Make
Yeah.
an interactive activity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Maybe if I say, okay, we're going to be doing a salmon dinner again, or if we're going to do chicken Alfredo, people can pick up the ingredients and then cook alongside me. I wasn't sure if anybody would like to do that, but I think it would be great too, because then they're simple recipes, they're inexpensive. Like, you know, that's what I want to choose my recipes. I'm not going to be making, well, steak and all that kind of stuff because I don't know how to barbecue, but
I think you did a really nice job, Andrea. It's Bryce here in Kingston. Just for those anyone out there who saw this, and it's awesome to have an accessible kitchen and stuff like that. And certainly when people are newly injured, especially, and you know, don't have an accessible home, it can be really daunting to think about getting back into the kitchen and doing things. So that's a lot of what I do in my role, is to try to help people with their goals of independence and stuff like that. So feel free to reach out if you do have, sorry, I'll put my video on, I just realized I turned it off. Feel free to reach out to me or whoever your coordinator is in your area, or Andrea even, and let us know what your difficulties are. And if we can, we'll try to find a way to try to help you get back into your life in the kitchen and otherwise, I guess. So
I was just going to say that I could show you Gab's make do kitchen, which is like just changing a little bit what you already have can sometimes make it okay. Her kitchen was kind of sort of accessible, but she needed some changes that would help her particularly. And, you know, if we were there, like I could show you what I've done to her kitchen.
that'd be great.
That'd be great, Linda. Like a lot of people don't have completely accessible kitchens or completely accessible bathrooms. And we just have to figure out, think outside the box on what to do. Like, you know, if you can't reach the counter, you could use a cutting board on your lap to cut up veggies to help prepare supper. So you don't need the counter. A lot of people's countertops are up high, right? So in order to cut things, you need that leverage, right? So to use a beautiful big like cutting board on your lap is perfect, right? To carry things, to chop things, or, you know, like you don't necessarily have to have a roll under stove. I mean, I'm sure lots of people go to the side. Like I did that all my life, is to go to the side and cook like that, which is fine too, right?
Another example too, and Linda, that's a great idea, is to show just some of the different ways people have adjusted or amended their daily life. And it doesn't always have to be a big renovation to a kitchen to make your countertops, especially when you're talking about moving into rental apartments and things like that. One example I can give is that I'm seeing more and more of the, for people who use power wheelchairs, the seat elevation feature, which brings people up to a higher level. And, you know, they are fairly expensive and not covered by the government assistive devices program, but seeing more, you know, other arm's length agencies helping to find funding for those things. So again, reach out to us to try to, if you're in that situation and want to look into that, we can see what the options are. So yeah, either way, it's just always good to hear from people and what their challenges are and see how we can try to help fix them.
And sometimes people, if you can't reach the cupboards up top, they create a little space in their kitchen with, say, 3 plates, cups, coffee cups, tumbler glasses, whatever they need, in a little space in their kitchen, which is great too. Like to have that little space for the stuff that you need that's available and accessible to you. So I know a lot of people that do that as well. So that's a good thing to do too. Did you guys like the tour of the kitchen before I started? And all the different features that are here, and gave you some ideas if you knew people that were like, you know, or even in your own kitchen, you could, you know, oh, I should get a grabber because then I could reach up to reach the higher stuff. Little things like that we learn from each other, right? That's what peer mentorship is all about, because we have the lived experience, and then we can share it with other people, because somebody might not know about the grabber stick and say, wow, that's a great tool to use, not only in the kitchen, but anywhere. Like you could use it anywhere in your house or in your car, if say your snow brush is at the back of your trunk or something, or you drop something on the floor.
I use mine a lot, so it comes in handy for sure.
I'm not sure how expensive they are, but I don't think they're too expensive, but they're
actually, I get really good ones at the Dollarama. They actually have a little magnet on the end too, and then like they're like yeah, and they actually like can pick it if you drop like I don't know, a coin or something, it can pick it up and whatever. And so yeah, so if they're at the Dollarama, yeah.
Wow, thank you, James. That's great. I didn't know that. I thought you could only had to buy them at these fancy like rehab stores.
I mean, they do really have ones that are expensive, but I did find like the ones. I mean, you have to be careful with them, of course, but they come in really like they're really handy. Like they're really sturdy enough to get the job done. So
that's good.
Yeah. Good.
Well, can you pass me that paper, or is it under here? Oh. Do you guys have any more questions? Because it's after 4 o'clock now. So I was wondering if you guys have any more questions for me, or
yeah, when you bring that over to us.
Well, there's an Uber on its way.
Okay, great.
An Uber cab is on the way to each and every one of your homes, all the way out to BC, Bert. We're gonna have to unplug this thing. So if there's no more questions or comments, I'm so happy that you guys all took your time out of your day from all over the place to join me and Lily in the kitchen to cook this beautiful meal. I had fun. I was nervous.
You did awesome. You did awesome.
Great job.
Thank you. Like, I was very nervous. I was saying to Lubna, I'm nervous, but these are all my people.
I have no idea why
you were so much like Rachel Ray. It's unbelievable how you're going around. You're so detailed, so specific. Like it was awesome.
Thank you very much, guys. And I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse into my personal life. This is what I do. This is not new. So this is what I do most nights is cook. But I don't have all of you guys in my kitchen. But it's been a real pleasure to have you guys introduce you to my life here, how I cook, where I live, and just a personal bit about myself. So I appreciate all the support you guys have given me in Spinal Cord Injury Ontario. I love it. I have many volunteers on the call today, and I appreciate all the time that you guys take. My volunteers, my co-workers are on today from all over Ontario. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. My boss, Luna, helping me out today. I appreciate you helping me out with all the questions and letting in everybody out of the thing. I see some new faces today. And I hope that you guys will be joining us again for the next Kingston, even though it's province Canadian wide now with the pandemic, anybody can join. I hope that you guys continue to join my peer calls because I've had a really good time. I want to say a big thank you to Bergeron Clifford, Chris, for joining us today. Thank you again for your support. It's always nice to see you, Chris. Our provincial sponsor partner, the Insurance Bureau, can't say that, Bureau of Canada. Thank you to them. And Hollister. You guys have heard of Hollister. They're one of our major sponsors with Spinal Cord Injury Ontario. So I thank them as well. So if nobody else has any more questions, I don't know what everybody else is having for supper.
Andrea?
Yes.
Can I say hi to Ron? I haven't talked to Ron in a long time, so I'm going to say hi to Ron.
That's our friend Dave Baldwin, whose birthday is on Friday.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday.
And I send you a picture of the puppy, but I don't know how to.
Pardon, Dave?
I send you a picture of the puppy, but I don't know how to.
Oh, okay. Dave got a new puppy, everybody. So he has a new addition to his family.
Oh, that's so cute.
So Dave and Ron are besties, and they haven't talked to each other in a long time, eh, Dave?
Yeah, it's been a long time, eh, Ron?
It sure has been a while, man. I'm really missing you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you should give me a call sometime.
I will. I'll make sure of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Davey. Davey's one of our volunteers here in Kingston. So I think that's it. If nobody else has any more questions, I hope everybody's having a lovely supper tonight. And too bad that you weren't here with Lily and I having this lovely, I mean, it's still hot. It's still beautiful and warm.
Andrea, just one quick question off subject.
Yes,
Have you and Jason biked at all in the summer, or because of the pandemic, it just didn't happen?
Yeah, we were on the bikes. We couldn't go to certain spots, but yes, we did go on the bikes. On the bike. And he bought me a snowmobile for Christmas.
Oh,
a vintage. She's a
nice.
vintage. She's a 1988 snowmobile.
Okay.
And he's fixed her up. And we've been
Awesome.
driving snowmobiles in the country. That's what we've been doing.
That's great.
So that's what we've been doing.
Cool.
So I'm not sure what our thank you guys for all your questions and comments and for coming on today. I'm not sure what my March event is going to be. I might be on holidays because I have some holidays to use up, but I will keep you guys posted on what our next, and if you guys ever have any comments or ideas on what I could do for my Zoom meetings, I would love to hear your feedback and to see what you guys would like to talk about. We can have like an open discussion about anything, or we can have like a scheduled guest speaker. So if you guys have any comments or questions or ideas, please send them my way. And anyways, everybody stay safe. Enjoy your supper for whatever you're gonna make, and hopefully I inspired you to make something
You sure did.
good for supper tonight. So you guys go out and cook.
Andrew, there are lots of compliments for you in the chat box. So I think we'll let everyone sign off. Yeah, I was saying when everyone signs off, would it be okay if you stay back and then read them? Because I think people were interacting throughout your.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you should see how much joy you brought.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I can't because I couldn't read it because I don't want to be distracted with my things. But I see them there, but I haven't looked at any of them yet. But I want to save them and tape them to my fridge.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Tell Jason we all say hi.
I will. I'll let Jason know that you guys were all saying hi. And it was lovely to see everybody. Lubna, can you stay on the call so we can debrief?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, good. Bye, guys.
Bye. Take care, everybody.
Bye, Tyler. Bye, Jenny. Bye, James. Bye, Chris. Bye, William. Bye, Federico. Bye, Dave. Bye, Mimi and Bob. Bye, Charmaine. Bye, Christine. Bye, Gabriel. Bye, William. Bye, Linda. Where is everybody at your house, Gabe?
Well, Hector's here, but he's sleeping.
Oh.
He didn't want to come out to play.
That's okay.
Well.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
He's just a little baby.
Maybe next time. I told him about the food, but he didn't seem interested.
That's a really cute dog.
Thank you.
Okie dokie, guys. Well, thank you guys again. You better sign off because I got a debrief with my boss.
Alrighty.
All right, bye.
Keep in
Bye-bye,
contact
guys.
with me, guys. Bye, James. Bye,
Will
Gabby.
do. Bye-bye. Bye, Andrea. Bye, guys.
Bye, Gab.
Hi, you did so well. So I don't know if this person is in the meeting because
I don't know.
Okay, I just put them in the waiting room. So I don't want to kick them out. You did so well. I could see that you were getting nervous because you kept asking, does anyone like this? You were doing so well, really I think other people were reminded of Rachel Ray, but you are such a natural, Andrea. I loved you. Thank you for Zoe. Yeah, I actually think next time we do it, we want to make sure that people in Providence can come out and see this. Actually, I want Providence, not just Providence, I want people in each rehab to see this because anyone who's going to go back home and has those questions, they deserve to see you and be impacted by all your positivity.
Did I do a good job like moving around the kitchen, Lupna?
Perfect. And then that little moment when you put the peppers and you were prepping the broccoli and then you went over, that is what we want people to see. Like, you know,
is it?
that you have you don't lose the presence of mind. Yes, your like mobility is impaired, but you don't lose the presence of mind. You're really still the boss person that you are forever. Right. So anyways,
I had a good time. My girl Lily, she did a wonderful job moving everything.
I know.
Around.
I want to tell Lily, we don't hire camera people. We need to hire you though. If we ever get into audio video, you need to be on there. You did so well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You want to read the comments, Andrea?
Yeah, is there any way I can't save
so right
them?
now let me start. There were people from Parkville, BC, Brantford, Ontario, Kingston. Hi, Andrea and Jason. This is Diane from Sault Ste. Marie, which is Diane Morel. Hi, I'm from Warsaw, Ontario, near Peterborough, Hamilton, Brantford. And when you said Jason is not here, it's going to be just you today. Diane Morel said just you is just perfect, which is
Nice.
James said he's from Ottawa. Lindsay said hello everyone, just you is wonderful. Andrea from Lindsay Temple. Diane Morales, Andrea is a very good cook, exclamation point. Charlie Warner said soft close. I think when you were talking about the drawers being soft close.
Oh, soft close, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Charlie and Norma were like chipping in. The chat box was buzzing. Hi, my friend is trying to join the meeting from the button, but apparently needs someone to let her in. And this is a few minutes where, you know, I was letting people into from the waiting room, but the joining button was taking way too long. So, so Charlie like also said, listen, someone needs to be let in. And then there was someone called Easy PC.
Yeah, I don't know that person.
I don't know that person. Can we get a recipe via email for participant, please and thank you? And then James had to leave, so he texted me saying that I'm going to be going out and then coming back in. And then I said, yeah, that's good. Then I let everyone know, like, because, okay, James Sharp, recipe via email for everyone would be great if possible. And that's when I told everyone, listen, we are recording this session and I didn't say listen, we are recording this session and we will have it up on Poetry website for rewatching. And then Bert Abbott sent, you can see better if you put it on the speaker view. So maybe his view was a gallery view. So he learned how to use the skill, I guess. And then Jen Pitcher to everyone. This is amazing. Andrea, you're fantastic. Then we had, I said, Lucky Jason, and someone said, he sure is. This is when your salmon was just about cooked. And then Brett Abbott is like, looks great. Awesome job.
That Brett Abbott, Lubna, he's the peer program coordinator in BC.
BC, that's cool.
One of them.
Yeah. And today I know SCI Alberta is having a peer chat, and I was so tempted to attend it like later on in the evening, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to, but I really want to connect with everyone because this is a great opportunity for us to connect. And I think we should have like a peer programs meeting across the nation just to learn from each other. I'm going to talk to Sheila. I want to talk to Sheila about it. Okay.
Hold on a second. Lily, you can leave if you'd like. You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I've connected with BC and I invited these guys on my thing. Just, you know, anyways.
That's really good. Melanie, I don't know who this is, said thank you for sharing your home and cooking skills with us, which is truly, I think, a statement everyone felt. I see your passion for cooking. Great job. This is sorry, Jen Pritchard. Jen.
Yeah, she's my friend.
Yeah,
she's from New Brunswick.
Oh, awesome. See, and now Chris's iPad said, awesome, great job. Love the tour of the kitchen too. Mimi, you did a wonderful job. Andrea, good for you. Thank you for doing this. We would love to be there for supper. Lucky Jason, he has his dinner. Charlie Warner could add mushrooms to the rice.
Of course, yeah, I never
like
thought.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Easy was like, I agree. I don't know who Easy is. Mimi is doing this again would be wonderful. I think this is when you ask.
They're my people from Kingston.
Yeah. Andrea's great job. Andrea, I'm hungry. Charlie, sorry. Great job, Andrea. Now I'm hungry. Thank you. Enjoy your meal, Andrea. Well deserved. Easy again. So this person Easy is like very talkative, but we don't know who they are. Ron, great job. Thank you, Andrea. Chris Bourne, thank you for having us, Andrea. You're an amazing host. Dave, to everyone. Dave, hey, Ron. Ron, hey, Dave. Hope that you're well. Sorry. Yeah. And then Taylor and Jeannie, thank you so much, Andrea. Great job. And that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Lubna. Like everything, like was amazing. I like.
Next time I come, I'm bringing an overnight bag. I'm crashing on your couch, and I'm having you, and I'm enjoying your cooking.
I think that like there wasn't too much of a lull in it, and I raced around the kitchen like people saw
Like
how
we
I got
always
around the
do.
kitchen. Well, that's just normal for me, but I showed the features of the kitchen and I cooked the supper, and
Yeah.
I
You
just
did
I
so
wanted
well.
everybody to have a good time.
We did. Look at all the comments. Everyone enjoyed, and I think this is going to be one of those important. Oh, I don't know why I'm still recording.